Well, good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman out here just having a little fun with this Glenfield Marlin Model 60. But instead of a shooting video today, I'm going to show you how I restored the finish on the receiver and on the trigger guard here. You know, quite often these aluminum receivers on different models of 22s, often the finish flakes off. You know, it's painted on, and in some cases it's not a really good tough finish, but I'm going to show you how to get a really durable, attractive finish just like this one here on your old 22. And yes, this is going to be another video for my 22 rimfire series. Now, whether your gun has a glossy finish like this right here, if that's what you desire, or a semi-gloss or satin finish, as would be more consistent with the factory finish on these old Marlins, or for example like the finish on this little Winchester model 275. This is one I just refinished, folks. As you can see, that's kind of a satiny finish. It's not a high gloss finish. You can achieve the same thing that I did, and that's a nice, durable, very attractive finish that's baked on. It's because of a discovery that I made just a few years ago using this Krylon Fusion paint. Now, you can have those parts Cerakoted, which would be more durable, much more durable than the factory finish, but if you want something that's just as attractive, if not more attractive, and more durable than the factory finish, then this is the way to go. What I've got here, just for demonstration, is a trigger guard off of an older Marlin Model 60, or Glenfield Model 60. As you can tell, I've stripped this one down to the bare metal. These were made out of aluminum, folks. And I like to upgrade these because quite often when you tighten this screw down on the rear here, this piece right here likes to break off. So what I do is I drill a hole at the rear of this and go up at an angle so that it comes through all the way by the screw hole here. And then I put a steel threaded bolt in there. And then I epoxy that in there, and that really adds a lot of strength to this right here, to this trigger guard. Because I've seen a lot of these old trigger guards break right here because somebody over tightened that screw, and then, you know, this is cast metal and it'll break right off. But either way, you don't have to do that. I'm just showing you that's what I do with these when I restore them. But what you want to do is take them all the way down to the metal like this, and then we're going to clean it with acetone, and we're going to go ahead and apply some paint, and then later on we'll bake it in the oven to really get it set hard and let it cool off slowly. And that's how you get a good durable finish on these aluminum or pot metal parts that are painted from the factory. So follow along with me here. Okay, what we want to do is use some acetone. Make sure you don't get any of this on the wood finish or on other painted parts, because acetone will strip it right off. It will damage the finish on a fine firearm. But what we want to do is just clean it off really good with this acetone. Just rub down all the surface parts that you intend to paint. You don't want any oil or any sweat or anything like that on the metal parts. You want a nice, clean metal surface so that the paint will apply very smoothly and also adhere the way it should. We want it to stay on there for good, folks. I'm going to go ahead and paint this one in gloss black. You can get it either in gloss or in satin. They probably have it in other offerings too, but these are the two that I mainly use. This is some tough stuff. You want to shake it up really well. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pan the camera down here. I think that's a pretty good view. And what I like to do, I don't touch anything at all with my fingers now that I've got it cleaned. I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of the trigger guard first. Okay? Now we'll let that set up, and then when it dries, we're going to bake it. Okay guys, here we are in my kitchen, and there's the trigger housing in my oven. I had it set in there for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Now we're just going to let it cool down. So we'll see how it turns out, and I'll show you the final results and reassemble that trigger housing. Well guys, here we are the next morning, and I've got this trigger guard here that is completely refinished now. And as you saw in the video, late last night I had it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then I turned the oven off and just let it cool on its own, you know, just slowly cool off. And then this morning I went in there, and this is what I got. This is the final result. And as you can see, it's a beautiful glossy finish. It's most likely better than when it was brand new. Now, if you don't like the glossy finish and you want to restore a more natural factory finish, the way they looked when they came out new, you can go with this Krylon satin black. Okay? And they make this also in a matte black. If you don't like anything that's semi-gloss or glossy and you want it just a dull black color, this also comes in a matte black color. But I made the discovery a few years ago that when I applied this Krylon Fusion and then I baked it for a short time in the oven, that it got really tough and really hard and very, very durable. And I know for a fact that it's more durable than the actual factory finish. You can just go ahead and refinish it, you know, however you want to, and whether it's a receiver or a trigger guard or any other aluminum or pot metal part that needs to be painted, you know, this is a really good way of doing it. I've tried with the Birchwood Casey Aluma Black and got limited results, but this here turned out much better, and I think all of you can agree after seeing that beautiful finish there that this will make an attractive addition to any Marlin Model 60, if it's the right model, of course. So let me go ahead and get this reassembled, and I'll close out the video. Well, I got this little trigger housing back reassembled and ready for service. As you can see, the trigger has been reinstalled. Everything's cleaned and lubed. The safety is back in place and working just like it's supposed to. And this little trigger housing is ready for service to be installed on another old Marlin or Glenfield Model 60. So folks, that's the reason I want to share, you know, some of the tips and tricks that I have used in the past to restore my old guns, my old 22s, old shotguns, and old deer rifles or whatever. And that way, you know, if you have one sitting around that you'd like to restore or, you know, rejuvenate, so to speak, then you can try some of the methods and techniques that I've shared with you in my videos. Here I've got my old Marlin Model 99, and I've refinished the stock, refinished the receiver and the trigger housing, just like I did with this one. And this has been a fine old gun. It's a great shooter, and I'll tell you what, it's a wonderful addition to my collection. And you know, you can achieve the same results if you have a little bit of skill and patience and you use some of these techniques. I'm sure there are other folks out there that do the same thing that I do, that maybe have a little bit of a different technique or a different method, but I just wanted to share what I found out and what I've discovered with those of you that enjoy watching my channel. So, you know, these old guns deserve nothing less than to be cherished and taken care of, because they're time proven and they're old classics that can be handed down from one generation to the next. And if they're in great shape like this one here, they make a proud addition to your collection. So my friends, before I close out the video, let me just go over the steps once again, just to kind of reinforce and reiterate what I did to achieve this beautiful finish on this trigger housing. What you want to do, you know, whether it's aluminum or pot metal or anything that needs to be repainted, you know, this is for a painted finish. You want to disassemble everything and clean it, squeaky clean. You know, all the parts need to be really clean. And then you want to take all the old paint, the old finish off of the metal, so that you're down to bare metal. And you want about a 400 grit finish. You know, get you some wet or dry 400 or whatever, and really go over it very finely. Remove any scratches or any gouges or any dings or whatever. Get that finish down nice and smooth. And then you want to thoroughly clean it with acetone. You want all the oil, any fingerprints, anything like that off of the metal parts. It needs to be completely clean so that that paint will have a good surface to adhere to. And that 400 grit finish makes a microscopic landscape, so to speak, for that paint to really hang on to and hold on to tight. Then I put about 2 coats of this Krylon Fusion on there. You don't want to put it on real heavy, just about like I showed you, you know, just a nice light coat. Let that harden and then go back over it again in case there are any places where you missed, and then let it dry until it's no longer sticky. You know, you want to let it dry pretty good for about 2 hours or so, and then you put it in the oven and let it bake at about 350 to 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then turn the heat off and open that oven door and let it cool off slowly. And then once all that is done, once that process is over, you can remove it, reassemble it, and this is the final result. You get a nice, super hard finish, just like I did here. So my friends, before I go, let me just say that this is the Cumberland Outdoorsman thanking you for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you also maybe learned a little something from this. But before I go, let me also say, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But remember also, hit that like button, smash the old bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all take good care of yourselves and get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. I'll be seeing you.